Today we begin with basic substitution using set command. On the right I have the file I'm going to use for the demonstration. As you can see on the file, you will notice that I have the word Linux repeated in different part of the file. So before we work on that occurrence or that word, let's replace or substitute, for example, the word grep in the first line. So the basic syntax for substitution using set is, okay, let me go to the left. Is you type the set command, then open the single quotations. Inside the single quotation you type S. After that, /, then the word you want to replace. In this case is grep. Now, then you close the /, and after that you type the new word that is going to replace grep. So in this case will be, let's see, Slackware, for example. Just an example. Now you close again the / and the single quotations. After that you type the name of the file. Now when you press enter, you will realize that grep, which in the original file here on the right, was replaced for Slackware, as you can see. Now, once again, I want you to put your attention on the word Linux, because as I said before, it's repeated in several parts of the file. So what happens if we try to replace Linux using the same syntax as we did before? So, well, let's type again set S /, in this case will be Linux, and I'm going to replace it for Slackware this time. Now press enter, and if you take a very close look here, set replace Slackware in the first Linux occurrence. Now if we go down just few lines in the file, we realize that the first occurrences of Linux was also replaced. And well, what I want to demonstrate here is set by default try to replace the first occurrence during the whole file, in the whole file. So if you want to replace every currency that is in the file, you type the same command, this command, S / then Linux. Then because I want to replace every single occurrence which is that says Linux, for Slackware, what I'm going to use now is the G option, which means global, that allows you to replace every Linux occurrence in the file. After that, you type the name of the file and press enter. As you can see, we have Slackware everywhere, or well, almost everywhere in the file. Now, perhaps you don't want to replace every single occurrence. You may want to replace just in one line. In that case, for example, let's say line number 3, we have to specify the set command which line we want to make the replacement. So we type set, and inside single quotation we type the number of the line, which is in this case is 3, the third line. Then S for substitution, open your /, and after that you type the word you want to replace, which is Linux, and then the word that is going to replace Linux, in this case Slackware. Alright, now close the /, close the single quotations, and type the name of the file, and press enter. And if you go to the third line, which is here, the first Linux occurrence was replaced again. All right, but the rest of the file, the rest of the currency in the file was not touched, or they were not replaced. All right, let me clear the screen here. Now, we can also specify a range of lines we want to make the replacement. For example, let's say that I want to replace the word Linux, the first currency, from line 1 to line 3. In that case, I have to specify that range. So type set, open your single quotations. Now the first line, which is 1, and then the third line, which is express the range of the replacement in lines, which is 3. Then S for substitution, the word I want to replace, and the new word that is going to replace Linux. Close single quotations, the name of the file. Okay, this command will replace Linux for Slackware from line 1 to line 3, only the first currency. So when you type enter, when you press enter, the first currency in the first line was replaced for Slackware. Same thing happens here, but here stays the same, and the rest of the file also stays the same. Now, let's say that I don't want to replace the first currency, but I want to replace the second currency. We can also do that with the same command. Let's use the third line for demonstration. So type set, then the third line, the number of the line, substitution. After that, the word you want to replace, and the new word. Okay, my typing is horrible right now. Okay. Now, after the last / you have to put the number of the currency you want to replace. Because I'm working on the third line, I want to replace the third Linux currency here. So I put number 3 because it's the third currency in that line. Now, when you close the single quotations and type the name of the file and press enter, you will realize that every Linux on the file stays the same, but look at here, in the third line, the third Linux was replaced by Slackware. All right. So let me clear the screen here. What else can we do? We can also replace the second currency or the third currency or a specific currency in all the file. For example, let's say that I want to replace the second currency of the in the file, during the whole file. So in this case, type set, let's say, as substitution, Linux, Slackware, and now I type the second currency this time. And because I want to replace every second currency in the file, I press G. Well, no, just 2, because if I press G, if I type G in this command, what set will do is to replace the second currency and so on. For example, well, let me give you a demonstration using G. Now, press enter, and as you can see, okay, it replaced the second currency or the first line, very good, but take a look here. The second was replaced, and the third was also replaced for Slackware. So if I had another Linux word here after a fourth occurrence of Linux here in the same line, that occurrence would have been replaced also because I used G option right here. All right. So if I don't want to do that, what I have to do is to remove that G and every single second occurrence will be replaced this time, leaving the rest out of the replacement. So as you can see in the first line, we replaced Linux for Slackware, and also in the third line, okay, the second occurrence. The rest stays the same because they only have one occurrence of the lines, or they are not the second occurrence for you can see. Okay, let me clear the screen again. All right, we can also well, during the video you have seen that set printed every single line of the file. Perhaps you don't want you are not interested in the other lines, only in the line you are changing. So if you want to print only the line you are changing, in that case you have to specify the option end. All right, let's say that I want to replace the word Linux in the fifth line. So in that case, you open single quotation, this time line 5, substitution, open / Linux, and then Slackware. And after that, you close the single quotations and the name of the file. Press enter. All right, something was wrong here. All right, the mistake in this command was because I forgot to specify the print option in the command. So I typed the same command, but before we close the single quotations, you type P right here for printing. So in this case, you press enter and you will see that Slackware appears where Linux was before. All right. Now, you can also do this using, well, you can also mix this command, this end option, with the other command we have been typing during the tutorial. So for example, let's say that I want to replace Linux from line 1 to line 3. The type set the dash n option, because I just want to print the lines I'm changing. Then the range again, 1 to 3, substitution, and the word you want to replace to. In this case, Linux for Slackware. Then the P option, close the single quotation, name of the file, and there you have it. Only printed the lines I'm changing, as you can see. The first occurrence was changed in the first line, and in the third line was also changed. Okay. Now, if you type the same command using the option G, what it's going to do is to replace every single set. Will print the lines you are changing only, and will replace all the occurrence in which show you on the terminal. For example, there you are. Only printed only the lines we are changing, and replaced the word Linux in every occurrence. So well, this is all for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.